So Aburo Boy Boshishe. Let's do this. Aburo Boy Boshishe Alore Awo Ianifa Iliadingbe Iliadu Iyadudu Temple Eku Oshe Oya Shango Kabiesti. Kabiesti. Kabiesti Shango. No, sorry. So like I said, may we always be in harmony, our masculine and our feminine, right? May we always be able to express our divine masculine and our divine feminine. It's not something that everybody can do, right? To have those in balance. So may we not struggle with that. You know? So I was a little bit late today. We know that our O'Shea today, or no, tomorrow will be the last day for this O'Shea period. And we had Obase. And so we understood a bunch of things about that. I wanted to, was everybody able to get that document or get those two OD out of the chat?
I didn't, Baba.
Okay.
I didn't either, Bob.
Okay. Let me see if I have it here. Ojibona,
Yes.
do you have access to it?
Yes.
Can you put it in the chat, please? So copy and paste these two verses. It was a pretty quick class. Is there, Baba?
Yeah, I can put it. You want me to put it in the chat?
Yes, sir.
In announcements or our gang?
In here in the Zoom chat. I'm sorry.
Okay. Let me work that.
Danny. So I wonder if I don't see it on there. Are we on YouTube? I don't think so. It says we streaming. So Obase told us about the match in the tender and how being in close proximity, right? In one way, right, they can function together and work in harmony, balance, right? But after one sets the other one off, they should avoid their close proximity because the match will light the tender on fire. It'll ruin it, right? The strike path. So it shows us, right, different ways to have relationships in balance and harmony. It shows us about the transformation, right, of relationships. Right. So we know that we can see sometimes this may be an egg bait issue. Right. It's quite fitting that it tells us that two things that were together and had a particular relationship, that there's some change in circumstance that makes the relationship change, or the relationship should change. So I gave the example again of the box of matches. And once these two things are put together like they're together, the matches are inside the box. Once we take the match out, and rub it across the strike pad, the match ignites. So then the closeness of the relationship between the match and the box, should it remain as it was before? Or should it evolve into something else? Is it then a time for separation? Right? Because at this point, when the match is lit, they don't match each other one's energy, right? So we know those things about, let's match each other energy. Let's do these things, right? I guess this is what they're talking about, all right? Let's match each other's energy. It should be one that provokes the other, inspires, if you will, to perform its function, to perform their function. So, in one way, what was it that about these other things that we've done, right, that wasn't able to inspire us? So, looking at it one way, right, it could be very provocative, right? Is that we can look at it one way and say that the match, right, that the match was provoked by the box, right? We can look at it that way. But for us, right, we high vibing, right? We look at things from an optimistic standpoint, right? We look at things from a objective standpoint, and we look at it and we see that the match was helped to realize its destiny by the striker or by the tender. Right? That's really what we're in E5 for, right? We're here to find the thing or things that will inspire us. Find the thing, right, that's inside of us, right? Because that's where the match comes from. Find the thing that's inside of us that will inspire us or provoke us to kind of like live out our best potential. It don't call to be for the match to be scared of the box. It is, if we don't move and we don't go forward and we don't exercise our full potential, then we bring everybody else down. Right? So you'd be like, Dag, Bob, I don't really care about them. You know what I mean? It's just about me and mine, right? But the match has a family. The other match is inside the box and the tender. So this Oya Shango, right? We already discussing masculine and feminine energy, right? And those things being in balance. The tender representing the feminine, right, is able to hold the energy. Once it expels the match, right, it is time for the match to reach its fullest potential, to fulfill its destiny. But if the match stay too close to home, guess what? Everybody go down. It is the other matches in the box that are requiring the first match that's taken out to fulfill its destiny. How many people tried to light something and had to use more than one match? Because the first one didn't work. It didn't do what it was designed to do. What are you designed to do? What are we designed to do collectively? This is why if I said it's important to know your destiny, to live according to one's destiny, to follow the path of one's destiny, right? You can be a wet match, right? Being outside the box, being outside your covering. You can be the match that's half of the head of the match has fallen off. So let's put our relationships in the right perspective. Let us value the relationship, the covering, the protection that we have, even with family, even from family, friends, acquaintances. We're thankful for the ones we have, and we're thankful for the ones we don't have. We're thankful for being able to recognize the change in the relationships that's needed. Obara asked us to behave well in relationships. Like, we've been through that. Like, it ain't like we got a problem with it, but sometimes we need to be remembered, right? We need to remember, be remembered. Please remember what Baba say, right? But please remember, right, that it's about evolution and evolving, right? That's how we got here. Because our ancestors evolved. Because they followed certain doctrines, right? We got the Muslim that will be, right, it's about 1600 years where that came about, right? We got Jesus coming on the scene 2,000 years ago, and we got Ifa that's 10,000 years, right? So if we look at each millennia as 1 year, Islam is 1.5, Christianity is 2, but Ifa, Isheshe Lagba is 10. Which one is going to be better able to assist us? So it's going to have you looking at these movies, right? Like, what was the one? It's an old movie with the little boy was like, I see dead people. Who remember that one? Y'all don't remember that one?
The
I
Sixth
remember
Sense.
it. I think Sixth
Huh?
Sense. That's the name of
Sixth
it.
Sense. Yeah. That thing was a trip, huh?
Especially the
Those,
end.
yep. Those matches, though. Those energies, those Orisha that y'all have. Them spirits that do the talking, right? Them Ikin you got in your pot, that Eshu you got, right? All these things meant to help you to see the match. To be the match. That second verse, fire though. Obara say, it is a tortoise which wakes up and places the Ifa tray on his head. How many spots on the turtle's back? Anybody? Everybody?
16.
16. How many Arendelagoon Odu are there?
16.
How many palm fronds does the holy palm tree have?
16.
Ashe. I'm just checking. This wisdom, this knowledge, this truth that the tortoise has, right, is what allows the tortoise to have long life. Right? What's the habitat of the tortoise?
It shall.
I said habitat. I'll take that Ifatusin. Ifatusin for 100. What's the habitat would be like? It's kind of like area. What type of areas do the tortoise live in?
I'm gonna say the jungle, grassy areas, the
Welcome to the jungle.
deep
No,
plains.
so swampy, marshy, right, where there's water, right? So it goes back between land and water. It don't fly. Do tortoise fly? Ifatusin?
No, sir. I haven't seen one yet.
Benny, but like Prince said, it's doves fly. Oh, he said doves cry, huh? That wasn't fly. Anyway.
I don't think that was fly Baba, but they do though. They do.
Actually, so the tortoise, right, between land and water, right? It has 4 appendages, right? So the tortoise is able to maintain balance in any place that it goes, whether it's on the ground or in the water, right? The tortoise, right, based on its wisdom, its knowledge that it carries with it, is able to remain stable no matter where it goes. The snail is it which travels and uses its house as its load. I wish I had some snails right now. But we're seeing them African land snails, right? We talked about that spiral, right, of life, the spiral of life, right? I can't remember the geometric name for that shape, but we can understand.
The Fibonacci sequence, Baba.
Say it again.
The Fibonacci sequence.
That's it. Can you type that in the chat, please, Kashan Bey?
Benny.
So it symbols life, right? Or one of the meanings is like long life or the cycle of life. So we got the tortoise with its knowledge and wisdom and being able to be balanced and on land, right, where things are stable, and even when things are not so stable, right, because it's able to move about in water, right? They even hold their breath. They can hold their breath. They can come up, right, and only stick their head above the water and go back down. They come in and hold their breath and they sleep like that. The patience. The snail, on its other hand, right, its trick, right? We've seen it with this Iyadudu Botanica, right? It talks about the saliva from the snail. But this is talking about a different aspect of the shell where it carries everything that it needs with it. This is a big one, right? Especially when we start talking about destiny, right? This Odu Ifa gives us some guidance on what we should take with us and what we should not. It tells us in the first line that we need to take that Ifa tray with us, right? That's a whole lot. That's sacrifice. That's the physical sacrifice, the personal sacrifice, right? The wisdom to not do things again, to turn away from it. Then we got the snail with its, say it again, Baba, Fibonacci sequence.
The Fibonacci sequence.
Benny. It takes what it needs, and it doesn't take what it doesn't. The snail is a minimalist. If it's gonna weigh me down, right? My movement's already slow. Disciplined, focused. Anything else that the snail takes along with it would slow its progress down. We look at the snail, right? We can see that, but like, what are we taking with us, right? What outdated ways of thinking? What memories of trauma are we taking with us? What we taking with us that we don't need? I'm just saying, right? We have to change and evolve, right? With that, right? This is the ashe, right? The alchemy, right? You have to learn how to do the thing, right? Before you can tell somebody else how to do it. It has to be tried and either failed or tried and success, right? But this Fibonacci sequence, right? It tells us that there's an order of operation to things. There's an order, right? You can't just be from low and then on top, right? There's a process to get there. As you move upward, you move outward, or if you move from moving outward, you moving inward, right? From either way it goes, right? Whether you're moving down or moving up, they say it, right? A spiral. It spiraled out of control, right? But what can it spiral into? Array, growth, expansion. Don't take things with you that will slow you down. The black ant masquerade is it which comes out in its flying costumes. It's very wonderful, these like insects. We can talk all day, every day about bird power. We can talk all day about Osun. We can talk all day about all types of Aj energy. But then we leave out the insect. We talked about it, right? And we talked about the spider a few weeks ago and how it does things in a miraculous way. How it represents one thing on earth, right? But it really lives its destiny or lives out its destiny, its most strong attribute, ability. It shows it right when it's up in the air. If we think about the ant, right, most times it stays hidden until it's time to fly. You're so accustomed to seeing ants walk and move about in this way that when they do something like this, it's spectacular. It causes us to have a new respect. It causes us to have a new respect for this insect. So a lot of times when we see the ant fly, it's only because it's going to start a new colony. It flies off from the colony where it was birthed at and flies off and starts a new colony. So after it starts this colony, it tears its wings off. It's a lot with this Odu Ifa. Obara say. It's a lot that it has to say about just some of these basic things that we need for progress. It requires knowledge and wisdom and support of Ifa. It requires that we only bring with us those things that are beneficial to our goal. It says that when we go out and we do things, when we evolve and we learn and we produce and we expand, that we should not go back, right? Mentally, emotionally, even sometimes physically, to the things or place that we came from. These were the declarations of Ifa to Olodumare. That's profound. Ifa is declaring something for Olodumare. It is after creating the world, he made Taboo its king. Christians talk about taboo. Muslims talk about things as taboo, as haram, right? Different types of taboo, bid'ah, right? And pretty much any major religion or spirituality, right, have these do's and don'ts. You can say like, well, Fa doesn't. Hoodoo, voodoo, candomblé, Santeria, Lukumi, Hinduism, Buddhism, astrology. Everything has a taboo. Everything that we know has a rule on how it operates. Does someone not agree? Any rule, right, in itself is taboo. If this is the way you do it, right? If this is the way you don't do it, this is the way you write cursive. This is all the stuff got to be connected. If it's not connected, if all the letters not connected, then guess what? It's not cursive, right? Am I correct? Anybody?
Benny.
I'm saying,
Benny.
who can start a car without turning it on?
No one.
Right. Right. They even made it so that if the person drive off with the running car and the father's not in the car, what the car gonna do?
Shut it off.
It's because it's taboo. We look at taboo as different things, right? But it's only the rules by which we should operate. This Ifa says that if we undergo Ifa initiation, we shall later die. Benny. It says if we do not undergo Ifa initiation, we shall later die. That tells nobody can escape it. It's about when and how you meet it. If you accomplish your best highest destiny. If it was premature. So now we're talking about, it's not just like physical death, right? It says it in the extreme, but it's not limited to just physical death. It can be death of a lifestyle, death of a relationship, financial death, death of a business, even though that may be financial. We got these different variations, right, of short life. We're just trying to avoid it until it's time, right? So death in a good way is called what?
Transition.
Transformation, Benny. Transformation. So when we're doing our O'Shea, when we're doing our Itado goons, we're doing our personal Odus, and we see Iku, we shouldn't be scared of it, right? Because we already in a position to handle that energy, to appease it. The thing is that like if we're not listening, we need to start listening. If we talking, we maybe not need to talk enough. If we studying, maybe we need to study more, right? Whatever it is, right? It just means that we need to change something anew. If I continue to say, please let us recognize taboo. Taboo is the most difficult of them all. I'm sorry. Taboo is the most difficult, the most delicate of them all. It is taboo killing people in the world. They are merely accusing death. Woo! That's a bunch right there. Right? We know from Edgy Ogbe, right? From Edgy Ogbe, right? It was Arumala who accused death and was found guilty. Correct? We
Benny,
remember?
Baba.
Do you remember? Don't just be saying Benny and you don't remember. Arumala, remember this is why we wear Day. This why we wear Ide. It's in any Odu file where it tell us, oh, this person is this and that, they need to wear Ide or Ileke, right? Death is there in that Odu. Death is the one speaking. For real, because it's saying that, hey, if they don't want me messing with them prematurely, then they need to wear their Ide or Ileke, right? So I can recognize who they are. Think about it, right? Everybody got that friend that they mess with. They got a friend that they don't mess with, right? We can see the truth. We can see this aspect of the universal truth. The Odu supports it. It tells us that this is the relationship, that this is why we wear the Ide and Ileke. It tells us again in this Odu Obara say. There's something even that can put off death other than the physical sacrifice. Wow. It's saying that the taboo is the thing that's killing people, not death. Taboo and death run together. Death may not be messing with you, but they mess with taboo. So if you ain't messing with taboo, right? Or you using taboo, then you bringing death along. What'd you say, Yanifa?
I was thinking as you were saying that you were talking about death and our Ides. So they're like a symbol of protection so that death would pass by or recognize that there is a mark, like in Exodus in the Bible. Is that what you're saying? Okay.
Benny. So, this 10,000 years old, where that may not be. And this is where they get it from, right? Because the blood is used to consecrate the Ide or Ileke, or the Ebo is done. You feel me? So, for all of us, which example will we use? I feel you just trying to correlate it with that concept with what you know from the Bible. But when we start praying and chanting, and we use the particular verse, because it's older, it's been more tried and tested, right? We go to the parent instead of the child, But yes, that is exactly it. So this your mark on your house. So let's look at it this way. How many Christians or Muslims, Hindus, Buddhists wear the mark? Some wear the mark right on their head. How many Christians do we know that wear the mark on their body? This spider, it's a leaf spider. It's a big old spider right here. I'm gonna turn the camera around in a minute. This spider about this big. He been here about 2 weeks. I decided to leave him. Or her. Probably a her. This the mark we wear on the house. Your Ifa is the mark you have at your house, right? Because it's been what? Consecrated. Benny. But it's an attempt to do that as well, even wearing a cross or whatever, right? Not a lot of them, some do, right? Anybody, but it's a symbol, I guess, true of that sacrifice, but in an Old Testament, in a New Testament way. You're gonna find out it's a leaf. She went right to it. She's like, "Oh, I'm mad about that." She's gonna take it out. She's probably gonna drop it. Any questions, concerns, comments? Anybody? No? Aburu Aboye.